Hello! I finished another book, and this is not a sketchbook as such, but it is an art book, kind of. More of a junk journal with arty stuff. It's just a bit of everything. And this thing has taken me years to finish. I bought it in 2014, and it got stuck in the cupboard for ages and ages. I've actually done the majority of it in this year, 2023, so I thought I'd open it up, flip through the whole thing, and we'll see what exciting stuff is inside. Let's get into it! So the book in its original condition was craft paper brown with a red fabric strip on the spine, but of course I've gone and painted over everything. The book itself is a K&Company smash journal. I don't think they exist anymore, which is a shame because I really like the journal. It also came with a pen, which is long gone into my studio somewhere. I attached a ribbon on there, just gluing it to the spine, and it's just so I can keep the whole thing together. Becky's Stuff and Junk is basically what this one's called. I've glued all sorts of random stuff to the front cover. Flipping it open, you'll see that I have filled the entire book. That note paper on the left came with the book, so I stuck it in and just embellished it with colours, and then the right hand side is just my own ideas that I was going to do for this book. As I said, started in 2014, resumed in 2018 and finished in 2023. This book has had vast gaps of not being used, but these are some of my earliest ones. A Christmas card I had printed in 2014 with one of my photos, as I was still doing photography at that time. I had painted the full page spread, so I found this huge butterfly to stick on the right hand side. I then apparently decided I needed to explain this book even more with another page of ideas. I was really only just starting to get back into art at this time, so this book changes quite a lot as I go through over the years. On the right hand side I'd included some art cards that I'd collected from other artists, and I think one of them is also a greeting card. I just stuck those in, and you'll see more of those as I go through the book. The right hand page is from another birthday card, and the left is from a rose stencil that ended up as that painting. And on this one I've got a very junky page where I was just wiping off a lot of my excess paint from other paintings, and then I doodled some flowers over the top. I really like this page spread, it's got that real junky look to it. Next are some little artworks from a different artist that I saw at a market once, and I just really liked them, so they ended up in my journal. The right hand page includes a postcard and some other memorabilia from a place we went to, which was an old whaling station. Pause so you can read the story. But basically there was a pod of killer whales that would help the whalers to catch other whales, and yeah, it was pretty crazy. Animals and humans working together in harmony. Yeah, kinda creepy, but there we go. On these two pages I've got some little bookmarks that I'd painted, a magpie postcard, and a souvenir pamphlet from the loom where I cut out the Van Gogh pictures just for there, and I chucked the rest of it out. The peacocks are from wrapping paper that I received for my birthday one year, some flamingo paper, and then I painted in the other flamingo with gouache, I think, or acrylic, I can't remember now. I was having a really bad day once, so I wrote some positive affirmations for myself, but you can also use that too, because you are totally awesome if you're watching this video. And in general as well. I like this page spread, it was fun to put together. This page spread's not as exciting. The sheep design was already on the paper, so I just went over it with pens. I stuck in some stuff from a paper shop, and the left-hand painting is something I did ages ago. I don't know if it's pretty art, it's pretty hideous really, but there we go. I had a whole bunch of pamphlets and other bits of paper, so I cut them up and turned them into a collage. I even had this little envelope, and I've put a few things in there. These two business cards, which would not go back in afterwards, of course. So they are going to end up in another part of the journal, and then I'd just made this little thing from bits of scrapbook paper on cardboard and a pretty sticker that I'd found. I've been doing a lot of this sort of thing lately, and I'll show some more of it at the end of this video, so stick around to see that. That one goes in nicely, but these two just would not go, so they're going to magically disappear. Ah, the magic of video editing. Flipping over to this lovely rainbow page that I coloured with coloured pencil because it was just two white pages, and this blue card is actually from a disposable coffee cup, and I just couldn't bear to throw it out, so I cut it up and stuck it in the book. That's what a lot of this book is, stuff that I've collected throughout life and travels. Hoarding them, I'd guess you'd say. Like these pamphlets from gardens I visited. I just chopped out the best pictures and then I could get rid of the rest, turn them into a collage, and I really like that page. All of this is from our paddleboat steamer that we went on, and that first mate certificate is really only meant for children, but I asked for one anyway, and they gave me one, so I had to put that in my book. I think that's hilarious. I've also received a few Upcrate subscription boxes, and I don't like to throw out the people's artwork, so some of those ended up in here. The one on the right is what I actually made from the box. And this page spread is from a bunch of videos I was filming with gouache, and I was putting all of my leftover gouache onto the pages. The words on the left-hand side were actually on that page, and I've just decided to keep them. This was a postcard on the right-hand side from Kefalonia in Greece, and I didn't have anywhere else to put it, so it's in my book now. Here's another page spread from Upcrate with the artist's card on the left side, and then I drew the picture of the mouse inspired by the sticker which is on top of it as well. Each page spread in the book has different paper printed on it, so some of the paper I actually kept, and other ones I covered over. This is a whole bunch of coloured pages that I'd done, and I stuck them all together. I think it was from a project pack or something that I'd picked up ages ago. This is 2 pictures stuck together. I cut out one so that the other would sit inside like a frame. The background on this page was checkered, and I just coloured in the checks with blue and pink to make it all tie together. Here is some more memorabilia. On the left side, when we went to Meteora in Greece earlier this year, I picked up a saint's card for 2 of the churches, and then they also had this other larger card from the 3rd church, so I stuck them all in there. I've got some Mont Blanc pen cards which I picked up from a pen show, and then this tiny little envelope which I stuck a piece of scrapbook paper that I really like into because I had a little space there. It's just purely random, and it took me ages to get that paper back into there. I can never do it on camera. And then I had all of these artist cards, so none of these are mine. These are all different pictures from art galleries I've visited, business cards, and general art cards. I thought it would be fun to stick them all together in a collage like this. And it gets them out of the drawer that I had them in, yay! Over here are stickers that I've collected from a few places that we travelled to, and I didn't know where else to put them, so in the book they go. The right hand side is just a random mishmash of paper. I think this is a collectible cigarette card, but I'd found that in the box of metal items that I made over recently. I don't know if you saw that video. Here's another pocket I made, and here are those 2 business cards now in this one, which is so much easier to get out. These little cards here are from Loz brick sets, which are like mini Legos, and I just couldn't bear to throw them out, so I decided to keep them in my little journal. I mean, they're just so cute. And maybe I will find a use for them at some point, but until then they could stay in this journal in the little pocket. This page I did this year. And these pages aren't really in chronological order because I was just randomly choosing whichever page looked good at the time, although it does become more ordered later in the book. I actually included this page spread in a video when I opened a Graby scrapbook box. And here are some early art collages I did, I don't even know when, but I dug them out of the pile and glued them into the book. I think they look really good together. I also had those sparkly butterfly stickers. Those were ancient and all of the stickiness had come off them, so I glued them on there with PVA glue. I think they look pretty good together. This page is from the loom as well. I'd bought some postcards from Vincent van Gogh. Had no idea what to do with them, so they have their own page spread, and I used letter stamps for his name down the bottom. Postcards from New Zealand that I picked up last year when we were over there, and they've just been languishing in a drawer, so I thought I'd stick them all in, and I have 3 pages for those because I just wanted to use all of them up. I mean, what am I going to do with them otherwise? I don't know. That little piece of paper I'm pointing to is from a sushi bag, and I just thought it was so adorable I had to cut some out and stick it in. Here's some wrapping paper from another birthday I had, and I just thought they were really pretty, so I cut them out. That little card is actually from my mum, and it has her details on it, so I'm just going to leave that in there. And that was another pocket I'd glued into the book. The writing up the top was already in the book. I'd picked up that St Kilda postcard years ago, I think in the noughties, so that's really old. And on the right side I made a little pocket and all of these little papercrafts that I'm pulling out now. Basically scrapbook paper stuck onto tags and things that come off clothes or whatever, and I just can't get rid of them. I find it really hard to throw cardboard out, so I figured I would turn it into something actually kind of useful, or at least pretty to look at. I don't even know what the heck I'm going to do with any of these things, but it is really fun sticking paper onto cardboard and making things that are nice to look at. I guess that's the whole point of a junk journal, it's just to store stuff that you like. And maybe I'll give some of these away eventually. I liked the pink paper and diamond design on these 2 pages, so I thought I'd retain them, and that's why I've just got things sitting in front of it rather than glued all over this page. If I can ever find another one of these journals, I would totally get it. The paper is really great. It's nice and thick cardstock. The colours and patterns also inspire a lot of what goes in here, so the left side just felt really vintage to me, and I had that pamphlet from Clunes. I made another pocket and stuck on that watercolour rose that I'd painted ages ago. I'd coloured in that bookmark. This is one that my mum gave me. I don't know if she made that or she picked that up somewhere, but I've kept that. And this sticker is from an artwork I made. I've been looking around for printing samples just to get an idea of what I can print my art onto. Here are a couple of postcards that I got from Printify. I think they're okay, but they just feel a bit too matte or something. I don't know if I'm so keen on them, so I'm still looking around. But I really do want to make some of my artworks available as prints. This will happen one day. It's probably going to be next year at the rate I'm going. But I thought I would keep them in there for safekeeping so I can refer to them later if I get some more samples from another company. And then I just have other random stuff stuck on there at the top. And I had to rearrange that bookmark a bit because it slid and it was being very annoying. Over on the left is a very early art collage that I made. I don't even know when that was, but it's so emo. And on the right are bits and pieces that I've collected. I'm pretty sure that round wooden thing is off a cheese wheel. Oh, the things that I hoard in my collection are ridiculous. Here's more stuff that I've collected, and I made some more pockets. The pocket pages are generally from this year because that's when I really started getting into them. These 2 cards I'd picked up at a vintage store and they're really pretty. I don't know what to do with them, so I've just kept them in the pocket loose for now. And there's a few more business cards that I thought were quite nice and have that vintage aesthetic which goes on this page, along with some stickers from an Upcrate box because I had nowhere else to put them. This page spread. This little painting I did of my 2 beloved cats who have now passed and are now reunited on the other side of the universe, and it inspired a much larger painting that I have on my living room wall. The colours of the painting match in with the backgrounds I decided to use and this lovely scrapbook paper. The flower on top is from a print I was doing. It was just a test, and so I thought I'd cut it out and stick it in the book too. And I am just rummaging to show you what happened to the rest of the paper, which ended up on this little tray. I really wanted the butterflies for the project, and so the rest of the paper I decided to stick in the book because I really liked it. 2 more pictures I made when I was starting out with watercolour. This is on very cheap paper and they're pretty basic, but I like the colours and I thought they would be nice in the book with a black background just to accentuate them a bit more. I very rarely throw out my art, even if it sucks. Most of the paper on these 2 pages is from another sushi bag that I picked up. It was so pretty and I just couldn't bear to throw it out. There was only a tiny bit of sushi actually on the bag, so most of it was salvageable, and then I've just added in some stickers and other bits and pieces that I thought would match with it. I also bought a donut and preserved some of the bag on the left-hand side, and then I had to draw Homer Simpson dreaming of a donut. That was with marker pens. I could have put more on the left-hand page, but I just don't know what, so I've just left it as it is. A vintage market flyer on the left side and a picture from a pamphlet, I think. And then on this side is a decoupaged napkin that I put in, plus some lace and other bits and pieces. I even had a tiny pocket, and these little cards were from diamond paintings that my mum had, and I took those from her because she was just going to chuck them out, and we can't have that. That's just pure randomness. And now here is all the memorabilia that I got from the Ghost concert I went to a month ago. Of course I had to stick it in the book, so here are all the songs that they played. I put that on a little tag, and then I used a little picture of a ghost from the scrapbook paper, because why not? I don't know what I'm going to do with this piece of paper yet, but I just stuck it into my pocket, and then I also bought this, which is an iron-on patch, but I decided to keep it in my book because I have no idea what I'm going to iron that onto. It's really annoying that a lot of concerts only sell digital tickets. They won't sell the nice paper ones that they used to. I wish I had something like that. But instead I have this piece of paper, which one of my friends caught for me and gave it to me. I'm so grateful. She was closer than I was, and I just think it's fantastic. No, I don't worship the devil, but I'm going to have it anyway. I like to have a little bit of evil in my life. I made a clear plastic pocket so I can see it in there rather than a paper one where I can't. But oh my gosh, it's so hard to get it back in there. It needs to just stay because every time I pull it out, I struggle. So frustrating. Finally, yay! Alright, moving on to the next one. These are done pretty much in chronological order because I wanted to finish the book. We went to the Tesla Tulip Festival, and this is all of the pamphlets that I picked up, and the pocket is a souvenir paper bag. We also have some free tickets for next year's festival because we went at the end of this one and it wasn't as good. It's really great that they do that. And we might go to the Kabloom one, which is earlier in the year, so they have 2 festivals every year now. But I really loved that bag. I had to include it as a pocket, and I've still got half of it left. Here is a collage of wrapping paper from my birthday, some table sketches, and I cut the butterflies out from a larger piece of wrapping paper, and that shiny thing in the corner is something that Mum gave me on the envelope for the birthday card. So of course I had to keep that piece. And then I did something for Halloween as well, just a bunch of random paper I had left over, and I used some puffy paint to draw on that ghost, which is not standing out very well against that busy paper. But I thought I was going to use some Halloween scrapbook paper in a project and it didn't happen, so I figured I might as well stick it in the book. Maybe I can pull them out and use them next year, who would know? There's some more up here. I just thought they were too cute and I wasn't going to throw those out. So let me know, do you hoard scraps of paper like this? And what do you do with them? Putting them in a junk journal is a really good idea. Those stickers were the ones that my mum gifted to me for my birthday. On this right hand page is a whole bunch of paint leftovers and I put on some shiny hearts, just leaving it as an artwork in itself. I put some pretty scrapbook paper down on this side and made these little things, I don't even know what they are, journal cards or something. I'm sure they'll come in handy one day, but I just really liked that particular paper set, so I thought I'd stick that on the page and I didn't really know what else to put there. And last up on the inside, I've got a couple more pretty scrapbook page collages, the end, and that little painting I did at the very last minute to put on top of it because I felt like it needed something else. And I've got this little card inside because it just needed something in the pocket that they'd provided. I put this in the pretty but kind of useless category, but it just is so nice to use my paper up. And it makes it more interactive having things that you can pull out like that. So that's my whole book finished. I'm really proud of this, and it's always very satisfying to complete a book. Who knows what I'm going to do with it, but I am happy that a lot of my junky paper is now contained in one book. I have another one which has been lying around for a few years too. I totally forgot I had this one actually, I only just found it. And that elastic band is really annoying, so I think I'm actually going to cut it off eventually. I also want to decorate the cover at some point. So much decorating to do, but it has a really good pocket on the inside cover, so I think I'm going to have to get into this book. And I have actually done a couple of pages, and I really like this one, but this one I was just testing out some ink with a dip pen, so I may end up covering this, I don't know yet. It's just full of empty pages and so many potential ideas. It's really lovely actually, and so I think this is probably going to be my next one, although it's quite large and intimidating. But in the meantime, here are some other little paper crafts I've been doing, covering cardboard boxes that would otherwise go in the recycling bin. This one's not very good, but I really love this one. I think this turned out so well, and in this box I have been putting some of my other crafts that I've made. Little journaling tags which I assume are going to go in a book at some point, if I can ever get them out, but I thought I'd show these as well. That first one is made from a clothing tag with really solid cardboard, and I just knew I had to cover it with something. All of these are bits of scrapbook paper that I have, and I've been trying to find a use for them, just making them into pretty little cards. All of these other ones are from recycled envelopes that have the windows in them, and I've been making tags to stick in them. It's just kind of a little project I've been working on in my spare time, and just when I'm feeling like I need something that's really relaxing, that doesn't require me to have to think, and I can zone out by cutting up paper and gluing it onto other paper. I have a lot of beautiful scrapbook papers in my collection, and it's just a shame that they've been sitting in a drawer doing nothing, so I figured I'd get them all out and just start making things with them. I gave a few to my mum before she headed home, and I'll probably give some of these away to other people, maybe as gift cards or something. Let me know in the comments what I should do with them. Should I put them up for sale? Does anyone actually collect this kind of stuff? The ridiculous thing is I become quite attached to them, so it's really hard to let them go. I think I am probably going to make pockets in the journal to put these into as well. And here's Gandalf. He decided he wanted some attention and I was not paying him any, so up on my desk he came and I was trying to get him to pose onto the camera, but of course no, he just wanted to head boop me and be patted, so that I acknowledge his existence for the 50 millionth time that day. Oh, but he's such a smoochy boy, it's hard to say no to him. But I moved him along and I'm just putting this last tag in after I was so rudely interrupted. I've got a few more here that I'll just quickly show you. I made one for Halloween as well because I had some extra paper and it turned out pretty cute actually, although I think this one got stuck into the envelope quite severely and I had to really yank it to get it out. I probably put it in while the glue was still a little bit damp, but I finally got it out, and there's some more of that ghosty paper that was in my junk journal. I have an envelope where I keep all of these scrapbook paper scraps, and then I can use them in future projects, which I actually do. I amaze myself sometimes. But this is quite a nice way to use up old envelopes that you get your bills in, the ones with the windows, and it's fun to put something inside so it's peeking through that window, and it makes the whole thing quite interactive because you have to pull tags out of envelopes and whatnot. I have to say, this is a really good activity to do when you just have no idea of what to paint. If I'm having an art block, quite often I'll just pull scrapbook paper out and stick it onto things. It's a way to be creative without the pressure of having to come up with an original idea or painting. Some days if you're feeling tired and it's too much to do drawing or painting, then something like this is a lot easier to manage. And it's surprising what you can come up with old bits of paper, collaging them together. Oh gosh, that one's really tight. I think that was the first one I ever made, and I hadn't quite figured out the measurements yet. This last card I really like. It's from music paper, and I tried to fit the words together so it makes the whole song. It's an old Sinatra song, I think. But yes, I think I'm going to use this in a future project because it's one of the favourite cards I've made so far. And this is pretty much a summary of all the things I get up to off camera when I'm not filming. It's just a bit of fun, really. Well, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed looking through my arty junk journal with me. I really enjoyed making this. It's been so much fun. Just a long labour of love, really. Nothing particular, just bits of everything that make me happy. And I'm not entirely sure when I'm going to start the next journal, if it's going to be the one I just showed or something else. I always need to take a bit of time between sketchbooks and journals just to let them fallow, so to speak, and then get myself ready to start a new book. But I have plenty of stuff already, maybe to go in a new journal. I don't know what I'm doing with these. I just have a lot of fun making them. They're super relaxing. Let me know in the comments if you want to see how I've made these, and if you want to see me working in the art journal. I can do a video on that because I was thinking about decorating the outer cover and all of that good stuff. We'll see how it goes. I'm in no particular rush. That will just happen whenever I'm feeling ready to do so. Let me know in the comments, do you have a random art journal like this? Do you do junk journaling or scrapbooking or anything like that? Any kind of paper crafts? Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate a like in the form of a thumbs up, and you also might want to subscribe for more videos in the future. I've got a couple of other videos here for you to watch, and I hope you're all having a great day. I will see you all again really soon in my next video. Take care out there. Swatch you later. Bye.